Good evening again to all of our viewers. We want to say welcome to another edition of my Lutheran Connections. Today we have a very packed studio. Um, with us, we have the um, administration of the National Lutheran Youth Fellowship. But before going to our guests, we want to recognize all of our um, team members that are here with us today. Our brother Batam Ibn Lewali is back with us. We want to thank God for that. The ambassador Jerry Tabler is joining us from our studios there in Freetown, Sierra Leone. And as you can see, our brother Josiah Jokai is all his attire can tell you where he is at this time, but he's joining us from Dunsbury, Connecticut. I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia, and our sister Corporal Silly will be joining us very shortly. And we hope to have the only Reverend on our team, the Reverend Zesta Lila Yakwazo. Time is fast spent. We are going to go strictly to Connecticut to our brother Josiah Jokai. He is going to be leading our team tonight. And like we said earlier, that we have a very packed studio. We have the leadership of the National Lutheran Youth Fellowship. Uh, and brother Jokai, how are you doing today? It seems that you are on mute.
Thank you very much, Willie. Thanks to the team. Abel, good to see you here tonight. I know you already started enjoying your break. You started yours ahead of me, 1 week ahead of me. I'll be starting my short break next week. Good to see you, Jerry. I know you are still engaged, and shortly you also be on a break too, Jerry. Good to see you, Willie. It's really great seeing the team tonight from the National Lutheran Youth Fellowship. Roya is back on here. He was here before, and he usually shares his perspective on some of the issues that we discuss here from time to time. Brothers Leroy and George, we want to welcome you. I see Reverend Pet Nassau, who is in. We also want to welcome you for tonight's discussion. Our folks there, the audience, all over the world, here in the Americas and in Asia, in Africa. We'd like to single out always our colleague there in Zambia, in Lusaka, Zambia. Thank you very much for all that you do for us to have Lutherans in that part of the world heard and to be able to access this important platform. To our colleague Jason Akawaya in Nigeria, also thank you for the job you do, and the folks in Australia. We want to thank everybody. Stay tuned. This is your favorite show. Our Lutheran Connections discussion comes on every Sunday at about this time. And so today we will be scanning the National Lutheran Youth Fellowship in terms of its activities, its status, where it is. And one particular aspect that we feature in our discussion has to do with the upcoming camp that they're going to have. This is a tradition of the NLYF. They have it every year. So we have the right people here tonight to tell us more about it. I know Royal Jerome is mainly involved with that aspect of it. The leadership will talk to us about the current status of the NLYF and tell us exactly what are the things we're supposed to know. How are they faring? Is everything okay or not? They will let us know and what they are doing to mitigate any issues that they are having. So, not to waste your time, folks, we will go into the discussion. Where are we today with the National Lutheran Youth Fellowship? And I'm sure the director or the president will get us started. Where are we? Leroy, I think you want to start since Reverend Ben Azo is still being connected.
Hello?
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for inviting the young people on your platform.
George, you are
Like you
muted.
said, my name is George. Hello? You can get me, right?
hear you. We can hear you clearly. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So my name is George Mobile, like you said, for the audience. Um, we are grateful to be on the platform this evening to share the activities, prospects, challenges of the National Literacy Fellowship. Um, it's often said that challenges are what make life meaningful, and overcome those challenges are what make life interesting. So right now, we got series of success stories, and we also have some challenges. But I also see those challenges as an opportunity that we can use as a stepping stone to improve our fellowship. So, like you said, for success stories, they can put up there that we all a vision, can put up there that is considered as the home of the young people, or the current home of the young people is gradually progressing. Right now, we have three cabins that are under construction. One is at 98% completion. I mean full completion, and we got two that is um, at 40% and 45%. So one of them
Excuse
was
me, Mr.
uh,
Moba, Mr. President, Mr. Moba, excuse me.
yeah.
We surely going to get there, and we'll anticipate the details shortly. But at least I think the audience would like to know first, as a president,
Mhm.
where are we? Where is the NLYF? Uh, what has been some of your achievement? Just maybe under 1 minute to give us an overview of, you know, of your leadership.
All right, thank you. So our leadership, where are we with the fellowship? Beginning from where we took over from the Argon leadership, headed by Brother Jerome Imchala. So since we took over, we've made some marks, and I think we will gradually get there if we continue the way or we improve in the direction at which we are going. So we have right now some issue with um, willingness of young people to contribute to the activities. I mean, to make themselves available is a serious challenge right now, and I see it as a result of people actually trying to strive to improve their life personally. People have said kind of outnumbered that the church is not benefiting them directly. And some of them said that they have labored for the church and they can't receive any tangible. So it's now time that they improve or run after improving their personal lives. So
So, Mr.
right now,
Morba,
yeah,
when the young people of
mm,
today state that
mm.
they are not benefiting from the church, they are not receiving or seeing tangible. What is it in real terms? What does that translate to? Because Abel and other colleagues can bear me when we talk about young people, when we talk about service to the church, we're talking about voluntarism. And so, where is volunteerism, and why the young people now are so attracted to a quid pro quo situation to get some tangible results from? What does that mean? When they say they are not receiving tangible, and can you can
so
you
so
elaborate?
yeah, so the volunteerism is good, and maybe in the term. I wish we would define voluntarism could be different from in the setting of the church or Liberia. But if you agree with me, that voluntarism is not totally free. It's not totally free. Take for example, you have a young man who serves as an usher for a church. He does literally everything in his scope as an usher, but he got a family that depends on him for survival. So how do he compromise his family with that of the volunteerism at the church to the fullest? So as such, the volunteerism right now, I call it at that stage, is divided into maybe three. 25% goes to the church, and the rest of the another percent go to maybe other issues, and the other percent goes to the family. So when I said the
Mr. President, my colleague Abel will come in shortly with the round of questioning, but Jerry actually started off the conversation perfectly. I think you are able to say two things. One about the progress you've made, that you made some significant gains, but at the same time, you have a challenge dealing with your colleagues, many of whom are now active, and they are attributing that to being discouraged about the system, how the system is working, and not working in favor of them. That is quite understandable. So we go to our colleague Abel. Abel, who will come in with another round of questioning. We'd like to thank you for the introductory statement, Mr. President. Abel?
Yeah, Joe, thank you so much. George, thank you for the good startup with your dealership. As you regularly stated, things are getting challenging by the day as we move along. People that are like young people, especially, most of them are like thinking about putting their life together, and uh, the salary is gradually waning away. But the question I want to quickly ask you is, uh, what mechanism can we put into place at this time that will actually attract young people to the work of the NLYF? Maybe during our days it was a different story. But today, right now, within our current reality, what are some of those activities that you think you put forth young people will actually come out and volunteer for the NYF as a having impact?
I think you are muted.
hello.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah. So if I got it clear, if I got able very well, he said what are
No,
some of the
I'm not
mechanisms
muted.
we
I
can.
said if you guys.
No,
Hello.
no, it's the speaker. It's George. George was muted, but he's on now. We can hear him now, Abel, not you, Abel.
Yeah. So he said what are some of the mechanisms? What are some of the mechanisms we can put in place to mitigate some of those challenges we are facing? Was that a question?
Please proceed. That's the question.
All right. So I think in my mind that one could be um, a, a vocational education that is that will be sponsored by the church for people who are volunteering their services to the church. Two, that the church, pays some key attention, major attention to the young people in terms of budgetary allotment, because put that some past leaders are here, and maybe I stand to be corrected on that. If you check the budget of the LCL, there has not been the insertion of the young people. So if you check the past budget of the LCL, the young people are not in that budget.
George, you are making good points here. The role of the young people is quite significant. But the question I think that lingers right now, based on your discussion, is that where is the spirit of volunteerism, especially in a religious setting such as ours? Where is the spirit of volunteerism? Where is the spirit of working for Christ? Where is that spirit? Let me give you a classic example. The show that you sit on right now here is totally sponsored, managed, and operated by a group of Lutherans outside of the LCL structure and arrangement. This is just an example of our contribution. I know your argument and others will be that, hey, but you guys are independent. You guys, you work and you guys got the economic means to do it. But we should be able to contribute within the scope of our abilities. The youth, from time to time, historically in our church, Jerry is here, Abe is here, Willie is here. The youth has always been there making contributions that they can make in their own weak ways. I know that leadership matters. They need to inspire, they need to encourage, so that people can get on board. But I don't want us to focus the discussion today on just the young people not being encouraged to work. Let's look at some of the positive things that you guys have done too. And if you guys are able to highlight those, I think that will be beneficial. And the young people also will see those examples as reasons enough for them to jump on board you guys, So that's the angle I want us to take it from. So I would just like to give the opportunity to the other two guests. We have Roya and we have Leroy to briefly introduce themselves. And Leroy can tell us what he does right now at the level of the NLYF. We know Roya Jerome is the president emeritus. It's a good thing on your part, George, to be on the show with Roya, the former president. That shows that you are having an open and responsive leadership. So we want to know what Roya Jerome is doing. So Roya Jerome, you will tell us exactly what's your role in the KP arrangement plans. And then after that, Leroy can introduce himself and tell us what he does at the level of the NLYF.
Well, thank you, Josiah, and greetings to the rest of the folks on the platform. Good to see my former director, choir director, Ambassador Tablo. Good catching up with you again. I'm also glad to share platform with the leadership of the NLYF. So, as it relates to my role in the NLYF since May of 2021, I turned on leadership. We've been around attending activities of the fellowship. Months ago, we were communicated to by the leadership, asking us to serve on the camp management committee of KP. So we request that we wholeheartedly accepted because of our passion for youth work and willingness to still support the work of the LYF. So on our committee, I'm the chairperson on our committee. Ato BA, the former National General Secretary, is also a member of that committee. Jasin Bono, the former district president for Kagada District is also a member of that committee. Abel Iwali and Tede Giflo both are advisors to that committee. So I also, if I cannot answer some question as it relates to the management team of KP, Abel Iwali will also chip in because he's been informed about happenings of the committee. So it's good to be on the platform. So like I said, a few months ago, we received communication from the national office asking us to help with the management of KP, taking into consideration the numerous activities that the fellowship has. So in our communication serve us, part of our responsibility is to manage the property and facility of the camp, and also seek revenue for the improvement of the camp in collaboration with the leadership of the youth, and sell that camp the camp out to other institutions that they can make use of it. That it serve as a means of local income generation. Because when you look at our national church and the country as a whole, you look at partner support to the church is cutting down, ranging from when Wale Kobe, Abel Iwali, they were in office at the time. The support from the ELCA was around 8,000, but right now it has dropped down to 6,700. So if you do an analysis of taking director salary, getting a salary, transportation for officers, literally you are left with nothing for youth work. So we are concerned with the sustainability of the fellowship in terms of how they can raise their own money and support their own activities. So we are there to improve the camp. We are there to manage the camp and also seek funding locally for the improvement of the camp. And yeah, basically that's what we were asked by the fellowship to do through the leadership of the NLYF. So since we took over, it has been almost 5 to 6 months. We started creating awareness. I know some people will be shocked and say, why is it Jerry is no longer in office, but he's busy with the youth work, specifically with KP. So we are there making sure that the place is well prepared. We sell it out, encourage people that the camp is ready, though it's not 100% ready, but you can still use it for camping purposes. It's a nice place. So we are there for local resource mobilization and looking at the sustainability of that camp. Because mind you, we will not continue getting support from donors. There will come a time that everything was caught up and we will have to do it ourselves. So we don't want it to be like in the case of LTR that they are struggling today. We want that place to be booming, and we want to encourage the young people to take ownership of that place because they're where they cherish and they're where that love is. So even with the clinical campaign that we schedule, that we have on recent, we got people from Kagada District, Monrovia District, the Lofa District. The committee was able to raise money for transportation to get them there because that has been one of the complaints that they don't have means of getting there. So the committee took the responsibility, the national office took the responsibility of feeding the camp, the workers for the 2 days. So yeah, so our work is to showcase the place, seek local resource mobilization, and see how we can better improve and maintain the existing structure of the camp. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's good. Good insight. And you just gave us the reason, a genuine reason why George had to mention, the interest of the youth right now in youth work, in youth activities within the church. So if the budget from the ELCA can dwindle from 80,000 down to 6,000. So that
8,000, 8,000,
down to
8,000.
8,000.
It was 8,000, now 6,700.
Oh, not 80,000, 8,000 now to 6,000, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
six thousand
That's
seven.
not much. That's not much.
6,007.
Right.
Yeah.
When you take into account the switch from the mission church to the national church, where we now have a responsibility to run the affairs of our church, administrative and operational wise, yes, we should be able to fill the gap. So if they are still receiving 6,000, that's significant enough. And I think there should be innovative ways through which the leadership can attract the young people, just as they did before, even further, more than that. But here's the thing: we will take Leroy. Leroy will make his introductory statement, and then my colleagues will have questions for you. Jerry has a question for you. Willie has a question for you before we can even go with our specific rounds of questioning. We will take Leroy right now. Leroy, we want to know what's your role at the NLYF. What do you do? And what's going on as far as preparation for this year's camp is concerned? What's your dimension? Leroy. Since Leroy is having technical issue, we'll go to Willie. Willie has a question, and then after that we'll take Jerry. So we'll go in that sequence. Willie.
Yeah. Since in fact we are on the camp, and I just want to continue with the camp. Have you guys started like awareness for the camp, and what is the theme for this year? And in addition to that, I also like to know what are some of the preparation that have been done so far? Because as you remember last year, by this time, we had massive publicity about the camp. How much each person is to pay. Leading to the camp. So what is the status like, and any update on the camp? Maybe Jerome can, either Jerome or the president or the secretary can speak to.
I think I can speak to that.
Okay.
Yeah. So first, the theme of the camp is let's make it happen, and it's taken from Acts chapter 4:32. Acts chapter 4:32. So in terms of preparation, the preparation we are on course. In terms of the getting the facility ready. Few minutes ago, I entered town from KP. I was there since Wednesday of last week, and the team the management team is doing well. Like Jerome said, they are actually supporting the leadership in terms of cleaning up and the management of the campsite, and the construction team as well. So in terms of preparation, we've gone like in terms of getting the site ready, we've gone about 80 to 85%. We're hoping that we can complete the rest of the percentage by next week or this week. But in terms of finance to run the camp, we are still behind. We are really still behind. We have not gotten um, the first startup package. So right now we are primarily struggling to get the first 2 days feeding, get the t-shirts and the souvenir printed. When we get our camp, when registration shall have started, then we can continue the hosting of the camp from there. But at the moment, that is where we are in terms of preparation.
Yes. Joe, if I may, please, I just have a follow up, Mr. President.
Yes.
From your response, I'm not pretty sure if the camp will be held this year because camp is next week. Okay. We barely,
We we
7
are
days to
we
camp,
are
and you have not that being
We are
according to
next.
the startup package, you have not conducted your training of counselors. You are not more than 50% of preparation. What guarantee is it that you're going to have camp this year?
So it's setting, it's obviously setting that we're going to have camp. And maybe I just did not respond to one of the questions. The camp registration fee this year is $3,000 per camper, and that includes the t-shirts, the handband, the sticker, and the registration for the camp. $3,000.
Thank you.
Okay, so to add on to the president contribution, uh, they came normally to have money to really start. When I was in office, we have budget something around 5,000. I know as time goes by, the budget increase. Uh, I saw the draft budget that is to be used for this camp is something around $9,000. And the last camp we had, I was part of the camp committee. I work along with Labasmo on the camp management team. That's it, the camp staff. So a daytime we had just for lunch and that of dinner, we had like 6 bags of the 25 kg you have to cook. So we had somewhere around 359 young people there. Excluding the breakfast, you had to cook just 6 bags of the 25 kg rice for lunch and that of the supper. And mind you have to feed the campus 3 times. And getting started, when the president said that getting started with the first 2 days feeding is always difficult. And even with the 6,700 that is being sent by ELCA, that money comes in it comes in per quarter. So it takes time before you can even have that money. And like I said, take the director's salary from there, take the officer's transportation allowance from there. You left nothing. You are left literally with nothing to do youth work. So you will have to wait. Campus arrive before you go into bad things. But basically, to just have the first 2 days feeding is somehow very difficult. And looking at the growing economic situation in our country now, I see one of the main challenge for the upcoming camp will be feeding. Yeah, that would be feeding. To get the first 2 days started with feeding, and now we are preparing for like something around 400 young people for this year camp. So we had 300 plus that we were using 6 bags of the 25 kg. So maybe we'll be talking about 7 or 8 just a daytime. And we are there for 8 days, 7 to 8 days. So the issue of feeding going to be something challenging for the leadership as I see it. We're going to be supporting from the back, but that is one of the major challenges as I see. So I was also part of the counselor training. They have done the first phase of the counselor training.
But
And
I know
yeah,
Rob, I know Jerry wants to come in, but my colleagues will agree with me that this is critical. You are trying to make the
yeah,
budget analysis, some comparative
yeah,
analysis. You said during your
yeah.
time, you guys had a budget of 5,000. What's the currency? Was that United States dollars for the camp?
US dollars. I'm speaking of,
For
yeah, US dollars. I'm
okay.
speaking of US dollars.
And now the current budget, the budget for this one is what, 9,000?
Yeah,
It's
they look
nine
about
thousand. It's
9,000.
$9,029.
Okay, let's put it at 9,000. It's 9,000. It's $9,000. Given the fact that you guys used to do $5,000 and now you are doing $9,000, what triggered the change? Because even raising the money, I'm sure you guys consider the possibility of raising the money or not before even deriving the budget. So when Willie says that he's not sure that the camp will take place, we don't know what percentage of the budget, financing of the budget you have raised. We don't even know how much you have raised. And if the camp is next week, then you need to tell us in straight terms, straight terms. Tell us this is what we got, this is the amount we have raised, these are the number of persons who have registered, and the camp is going to take place, or we have not registered any, we have not raised any money at all. The camp is not taking place. I'm sure that's the kind of thing we'll learn from you. The police wants to hear from you. You know,
Absolutely, Bijo, absolutely. That's what I wanted to hear because it's concerning.
right, and I think the audience want to hear that too from you, Mr. President, to just be in clearer term to say, thus far, we are going to have the camp next week. This is what we have raised. Of the 9,000, we have raised 5,000. We have raised 2,000. Cash on hand is 5,000. And the total number of people who are registered is 100 or is 50. So we are having the camp. There has to be indicators for the audience to believe that you're having the camp, so that even other people who want to contribute, they can be moved by that you guys have made some efforts in raising some money and in registering people, and that the camp will go ahead as planned. So I think we go back to the president, Royal Jerome. From there, I know Jerry, you really want to come in, please.
I think the director is stable. You want the director to come in?
Yeah, let the director come in and talk about this. Oh, we have not.
Yeah,
Director,
let the president
let me
address
get
the issue.
response.
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Yeah,
Let
so
the
let me
president
get
respond.
response to
The president or the director, whoever can respond, we appreciate it. I'm sure the audience will appreciate that. Then after that, we'll go straight to Jerry, because Jerry has some questions for you guys.
so thank you, Brother Sarah and Willie. Like I said, camp is very interesting, and the young people have great interest in camp. So we're definitely going to host camp. When I said we have not raised any amount, what that means usually for us is that we go into our account and we check that we realize that our account is in red. We borrow money, and that's something we usually do. We borrow money to run the camp for the first 2 3 days, and after registration of the campus, then we continue from there. So we're definitely going to have camp.
So you got money borrowed already?
So on hand, what we really show off right now is little over $2,000.
You have it, cash? It's in your account?
Yes, yeah, we have that cash.
And was that borrowed?
Little over $2,000. No, that was not borrowed.
Okay,
That's
you
a
raised.
support that's a support directly from the ELCB to our camp.
Okay, all right. So how many
Yeah.
persons you registered already?
Registration is on, but it's through the districts and the parishes. So we can't give you a specific number now because the district has not reported those numbers to us.
Approximately, you need to have a picture, because if you are to have it next week, you need to have a picture of what the number is going to look like. Otherwise, you can't have it. So
So
approximately-
our we are approximating 400 campus, excluding the staff.
all
400
right.
campus.
From the preliminary registration numbers, what do you have? Like, you can say this is what thus far
So
we think we registered.
right now we think we are little over 250.
250. You
250
got about
considering
250, and we have raised
yeah
up to $2,000. Okay, Jerry,
yeah
you take
yeah
it from me. Ambassador, is the ambassador on? Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think these are critical round of questioning, and I want to commend Woody and Abel. From the look of things, I want to believe that already we can see where the problems are. And there's a need for the management team as well as the leadership to be very mindful, because you won't want to care people kids out there and you cannot provide food for them.
You own now.
But my question is
Maintenance
to
or
the
go
director.
see.
My question is to the director. I don't know if the director is still on.
Yeah, I
How
am
about
here.
you? How about you, Reverend Niazo?
Yeah, I'm pretty fine, and thank you all for this forum.
All right, good. So I just got a simple question for you. This
So,
question has to do with your entire guidance as it relates to the planning and the execution of this year's camp. Um, what role are you playing as a director what suggestion have you made? What guidance have you provided? And what are the obstacles?
Thank you ever so much. As you heard from the president, the work of the director is not in isolation with the youth officers. We collaborate in the process and we get started. And my advice to the, what have I provided when it comes to advices? We have been trying for the past year how we can get the list of campus before the camp. And that is in progress, as the president said, 250 campus have been registered. And usually camp is very hard to contend with. But with what we have last year, we have the issue of lodging. And this year, we tried our ways with the help of others. We have for lodging, we have number of buildings are there that can be able to host those campus that we are expecting. And also when it comes to the feeling, just as the president said, that's a process that we are carrying on because we can't wait. We are very sure of this camp being hosted this year. So as the president said, we have this little amount that was contributed and other people are yet still contributing to the success of this camp.
So, Remy, sorry, I don't want you to provide me what the president has said. Honestly, we have listened to the president. I want you to tell me clearly. Let somebody ask. Let me just rephrase that question. Will there be a camp? And if there's going to be a camp, you as a director, we are optimistic? Are you optimistic that we are going to overcome the challenges of feeling and other obstacles that have been raised?
Very, very sure that I'm very optimistic that the camp will be hosted. And when it comes to feeling, it will be handled as you have heard. Usually for the first 2 days, we tried to lobby around to get the first 2 days and the camp itself is soft. And that's have been the normal routine, and that's also going to hold.
Okay, maybe my last question to you on this, and then maybe other colleagues will come in. But are you the director who also have been involved in trying to see how the young people activities, that is the National Lutheran Youth Fellowship activity, go smoothly? And if that is the case, have you in between far and few have any challenge with any of the young people in terms of that what was raised, vocational, tangible, lack of volunteerism? Can you speak to that?
Thank you for this question. What I want to address, what I want to provide is that the youth of today cannot be compared as the youth of yesterday. Now you see the youth are very challenged when it comes to the church activities. So all they need is just motivation. All they need is just motivation because the youth of yesterday cannot be compared to the youth of today. The activities of the young people as we see now is very challenging. This is why we are trying to motivate them all day long to get themselves involved with vocational training and art and craft that can even keep some of them with the church. Notwithstanding, some of our pastors, because of the young people activities and the role played that is not being seen, majority of the pastors are giving full support to the youth work. So it's a challenge that we need to get our friends, pastors on board, that we all can see reason how we can help our young people. For the activities of the young people nowadays cannot be compared as yesterday. It's very challenging when it comes to working with the young people.
Okay. That speaks a lot. That speaks volumes. The youth of nowadays is challenging to work with them compared to the youth of yesterday. director, and we understand when a religious leader makes such statement. So we'd like you to break it down for us a little bit. Are you having some challenges with the youth you're working with? Can you just lift one or two of those key challenges that you are having with working with the young people? Because you need to provide leadership for them. You need to provide guidance for them.
You're talking about my officers or the young people?
Director, I'm speaking strictly to your role as director, as a pastor to the National Lutheran Youth Fellowship. What are some of those challenges that you are having working with the NLYF?
For one of those examples I will provide is this. Let's look at what was taking place yesterday. The young people were encouraged. They were very courageous when it comes to the youth activities. They paid even transportation and all the requirements. But nowadays, most of the time when you ask the youth to even provide transportation, they are expecting someone to provide. Yesterday, the young people willingly came to the church to work, but today, you had to go after them. So it's a serious challenge. How can we motivate these people to remain in the church? This is why we are including these activities to get them on board so that we all can move this fellowship forward.
Right.
But director, you are the director. I remember when Robert Godno was director. I remember before Robert Godno, when I think Yoko Buema was director. I know how, and sorry, I'm not trying to bring in that comparison so that it makes you to feel somehow. But I know how charismatic they were in trying to cajole the young people to enhance the level of volunteerism. I mean, I'm still not getting the answer from you. You as a director, I mean, you say they are hard to deal with. We do know the circumstances and situation are not the same. We do know. What are the motivation and innovation are you bringing in to try to see how you can be able to cajole them to be like yesterday youth, or if not yesterday youth, but to try to at least basically to volunteer? What are you as a director now? That's your task. If you are still telling us that they are just hard to deal with, and then you still not answering, I mean, your tax, it said that the portfolio is giving you problem. It said that the portfolio is big of a portfolio that you cannot handle any longer. You have given up on the youth of the church. What is it?
I have not given up on the youth, neither will I give up on the youth. So what am I doing to motivate them? Like what we usually do, we go to their various parishes to motivate them in getting involved into the youth work. We motivating them with the art and craft, those things that they are doing there, modifying it so that we can have them participating in of our activities. One of those will be the tournament. At the tournament, there are some people we have observed that there are some people that are out there love sport. So, but they don't go to church. So what are we doing? We are using sport to get them on board. We have the national tournament. At the national tournament, what we are doing is having other activities. Now only sport, we have dancing competition. We have basketball this time was included, Bible studies, to just have them motivated and that they can all partake in the youth activities. So these are things that we try to bring on board that can help them to get to find themselves in the church. So what they are doing out there, we modify it and also bring to them in Christian activities.
Right, Jerry, we'll come back to the director. Willie will come back, but I want to take this time to welcome Reverend Sister Lila, Sister Yakpazua, to the show. He's one of the co-hosts, and he provides religious guidance for us here at My Lutheran Connection. So it's really pleasing to have Reverend on. We want to welcome you, Reverend, to today's discussion. What's your opening comment, Reverend?
I remember saying that one mean by man. So
yeah, Joe, thank you for recognizing me, and I don't want to open up Pandora with Willie and just what his name Jerry, because I told Willie the other day that when I'm in the back, it's difficult for Willie to usher me in here. And then Willie said Jerry was the one controlling issues. And then Jerry was also not letting me in here. But I'm glad whoever was controlling it today chose to let me in here. I praise God for that. But on a very serious note, Joe, I'm a little disappointed. And that's the way I want to begin with this whole discussion on the National Lutheran Youth camp, yearly camp or stuff. So as I was sitting and Jerry was talking about, I'm sitting like a mean barman. I was trying to calculate within my head basic programs for the National Lutheran Youth Fellowship. So the first thing I thought about was, for example, the March programs. I know the National Lutheran Youth is meeting sometimes in March, normally for convention. And I also know that in July, we have national regular youth day programs that are held around around the country for Lutheran churches and National Lutheran Youth celebrations. And I do know the end of the year summer camp is one of our biggest events for young people. So what I've been in trouble about as I sat here, because the last time I made my way to Liberia in April of this year, I had more than 200 Latter-day Saint missionaries on the plane with me. They were all hailing to Monrovia because the issue of youth work, evangelism, was being more dominant in that aspect of Africa than where we are now. Like, you don't find young people going to church. You don't find what, and they told me on the plane there was a side going to Africa, quote unquote Liberia, because they could get a lot of young people involved with the church than where they came from. I'm saying this to say, I read the instructions we had on here that the youth needs $9,000 to go to camp, and currently we can only boast of $2,000. It's worrisome. It's scary, because I think the office of the director, no offense to the director, a very good friend of mine and a brother in ministry, the office of the president, we should be able to capture our major activities for the year. If it is just 3, if it will cost us to start raising money in January for summer camp, we should start, because we understand this is one thing that will bring cross-cultural young people from all over the country together. Good for us that my own former German youth, under his leadership, did well. I keep is now, at some level that can host our young people. For us to be sitting here in this dying minute, because we could try, but I don't know if we will be able to raise $9,000 for the young people. So let's assume $8,000. My own advice to them would be that we need to take certain things serious. We need to identify our priorities. One of our priorities as young people and National Lutheran Youth Fellowship is the issue of this camp. And if it will cause us to start raising money as early as January for this camp, we need to begin doing that instead of waiting until December before we sit here and start looking for the rest of the money. That's just my beginning, my take on what I
Right. Reverend, you are quite right. And that's the passion Willie and Jerry share. And that's why I was encouraged to really come back to the director in a way that I did. So this poses so many questions of interest. What really happened to the planning process from January to December, when in December the camp is supposed to take place? What happened during the 11 months? What happened? So what happened to the planning process? I know that the NLYF used to have annual plans, prioritize all of their activities, put them in an order of priority, and then generate the response with some of the past directors. And it's no offense to the current director, Revin, when Jerry raised the question, about your relationship with the young people and some of the things that you do as director, as their leader, to the innovation, the creativity, to make sure that you get young people together in these times. So we need to go back to the director, the president, and Leroy. But I want to go to Leroy because we have not heard from Leroy. Leroy, what is your role in the NLYF, and what are you doing as far as your support towards preparing for the camp is concerned?
You want to meet him, Brother Josiah?
Yeah, Leroy.
Yes, go ahead, Leroy.
I thanks so much for this show, Senior Brother Josiah and Senior Brother Wole. I am the Assistant Secretary General for the NLYF. I've been sitting, listening to the previous people who have been speaking, the previous speaker. But one thing had drawn my attention is that when the question came from the Reverend Zester that we have more time to raise this money, but mind you, the NLY yesterday is not the NLY today, we agree, but the activities is too much for the leadership right now. We have parish visitation, we have district visitation, and we have also other activities that we have to attend to, like Camp KP, the work at KP. In mind, I think Senior Brother Woody is informed that we have rubber farm. We just got through brushing the rubber farm. Those are activities. But raising 3,000 for one campus, 3,000. If you divide 3,000 by 7 days, you will have $428 liberty. And the current situation in our country, Africa, Liberia, a child cannot eat $428 liberty per day. So we go the extra miles, looking for funding all over. So like I saw one comment, and not too long, I think we need to go back to the drawing board and get a few senior friends. Then they can give all the old ideas, and we all can work along with the ideas to see how best camp can be better than before, or camp can be better than how it has been.
Leroy, you listed, you enumerated several activities that the youth is involved with, but
yes,
you failed to tell us your priorities among those activities. Which one you consider to be important than the others? And I'm sure if you do that enumeration or that listing, Camp KP will be on top, because there's so much that you learn from Camp KP. Going there,
our priority is camp
over the period
because
of
you
time.
see, camp is not actually for raising funds.
Here's my
the
question.
money we raise at camp, we use the money on feeling.
Here's my question.
So we prioritize camp in the NY because they can bring more young people together. Mind you, this day we have young people coming from Guinea to attend camp.
Joe.
Leroy, hold on 1 second, Leroy.
Joe.
Yes.
Joe.
You getting me?
Leroy, can you just wait a little bit? Yes, Revin coming.
Joe, I listen to Leroy, but again, maybe I'm speaking somewhere on Mars or Jupiter.
Oh boy, I get it.
But do you agree with me, Jared or Willie, that there are programming here that are in the US here that are already booked for like 2024?
Yeah, and
you can't get plenty. You can't get yourself in.
I was just coming to that in terms of prioritizing their priorities and making sure that they start to prepare for those priorities. And that's the thing I wanted Leroy to tell me. What happened from January when they knew that in December at this time they will be preparing to go to camp? So what happened from January to November? And I think they should go to the director, not even Leroy, because the point that Leroy made, that it's good to get back to senior friends, senior brothers and sisters, so that they can provide some guidance in the day before, which is good. Learning from experience is very good. But at this time, the director of the National Lutheran Youth Fellowship should be able to tell us what happened to the planning process along with the president. What went wrong from January to November that they were not able to start the mechanism for generating funds for Kenkepi in December, because that's supposed to happen over the period. So we will have to go back to the president and go back to the director. But the director will also have to tell us his personal relationship with the youth. Is it excellent? Probably from 1 to 10, in terms of 1 being the highest and 10 0. He has to tell us his relationship with the youth, because that is also important. You know, how are they reacting? How are they responding to his directorship? He needs to be frank to tell us, and the president also needs to tell us how his leadership is the relationship between his leadership and the director, because that has implications for the overall operation of the NLYF. So, Mr. President, you need to tell us what is your relationship with the director.
Same as the director.
Yeah, and the director also needs to tell us what's his relationship with the leadership, because some of these things that are happening could just
Also,
be an effect of the nature of the relationship that the director and the leadership are having. So the two of you need to tell the audience. I'm sure they want to know what's going on. Are you guys relating very well? Is everything going on smoothly? If that should be happening, then you should not be complaining on behalf of the young people that the young people are not cooperating, that they're not working, because the leadership and the directors work hands in glove to make sure that they provide those innovative programs, those activities that will encourage the youth. So let's go to the president, Mr. President. Let's hear from you. What's your relationship? What's the relationship of your leadership with the director?
Thank you, Brother Josiah. Um, as I'm sitting here and my heart is
I can't get this.
my heart is bleeding. My heart is bleeding with some of the comments and some of the questions that have been asked. You know, in my opening statement, I said I was talking about unwillingness of young people, or the issue of voluntarism is an issue. We are looking at it at the um, at a wider spectrum. But there are still some young people who are willing and are committed to doing the youth work,
mhm.
despite the challenges. They are willing and committed to do whatever they can do for this fellowship and whatever they can do for the Lutheran Church in
And
Nigeria.
Mr. President, I agree with you. That's the reason
So,
why you are having
so,
250 people registered. But my question is, what is the
so,
relationship between your leadership and the director? That's what we want to know.
so we're having a good relationship, except that for the last couple of months now, since the director started doing her masters, we've had some challenges with the following the activities regularly. But I think we have on the general note, we're having a better relationship.
Okay, I'll go to my colleague. You're having a good relationship, even though he's not having time now like before, because according to you, his engagement won't permit him to be effective like before. I'm sure that got some level of impact on the way he's supposed to proceed. But let's go to Abel. Abel.
Can I just inject? Hello, can
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
inject?
Yeah, Leroy, you can inject the
Yeah, check
No,
the
this is
Director.
the director.
come here, Pat.
Yeah, let me just say this. We have a very cordial relationship. It is just because of this
Yeah,
semester.
come here, Pat.
It is due to this semester that was very caught up. There are some courses that are left behind that needed to be done, and I expressed this to the leadership. But besides, we have a very good cordial relationship that we have built over the years, and we still maintain it. Everything that the president is doing, he's not doing it in isolation. Neither what I do, I'm doing in isolation. The president and myself relate with other officers and get the work being done. So it is with this semester that I have small problem with on the Thursday. The Thursday I have is our meeting day. I leave from the office by 12 I am in class up to 7. I think it's the only time that I don't have with the young people. But besides, we have the days in the office and we are doing all the activities together.
Oh, that sounds very good, Director. Coming from you is good. We'll go to Abel, but let me just ask this question. In addition to the youth director, does the NLYF have a consultant?
We have a consultant,
And what's the role
and
of the consultant?
the consultant have been very helpful to the young people. She has been also giving advice to the young people. We all meet together in the office to discuss issues. What she has on mind, she share with us, and what we have, we share with her. This is how the working relationship is like in this office. It's not about the director being a dictator to the young people. They decide, and we give our advice to them, and that's how the work of this office is going on.
Is the consultant still with the NLYF currently as we speak?
She is still with us, and we know she's still with us. She remain with us until we can get information from different, maybe from the bishop that maybe she's not working, but presently she still work with us.
Okay. All right, Abel.
Yeah, thank you so much, Joe. I've been sitting at the back here, listening to a couple of the comments that have been made. But I think the work of the NYF uh, really requires time. I see it to be very challenging. Volunteerism is good, but I think you need some full-time commitment to this
My
process.
personal
Some
bed.
full-time
Sure.
commitment to the process.
No.
I was
Leave
part of
on feeling.
the
People
training program
do an
last year.
online program.
Some
Yeah, you
part
can't
of
be
last
pressing the
year,
computer.
if I'm not mistaken, or year before last, fellowship and the director. And the issue of camp management is not an event; it's a process. The moment you are ending or closing one camp, you should begin from there. You should start planning for another camp. It should be a whole round year process in terms of capacity building, in terms of raising the necessary resources, in terms of, whatever you think of. But if you wait until it is time for the camp, man, it's difficult.
Excuse me, Leroy, someone need to unmute.
I think I'm still on here. I'm
Yeah.
still on here.
Okay. Okay.
So what I would propose moving forward to the
Maybe you
youth
got two
leadership
devices on. You
is
listen to yourself. Amen. That is the problem.
no, I want to have my computer on. Maybe the feedback is coming
We
from
should be good
somewhere
now.
else.
Yeah, we should be good. We should be good. I think we got it now. We got it under control.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, Willie. Um, what I would say is that my advice to the leadership movement, I will again reiterate what I said to you guys once when I served as your training director, that the issue of camp is not an event, it's a process. As you end in January, you should begin in February. February in terms of planning, capacities building, human resource management, training of counselors, raising of the necessary resources to prepare yourself for the next camp. When you are able to do that, you'll be able to grapple with a lot of things. I just heard one of the senior brothers, Sonny Joyce, talking about calling back senior friends. First, there are so many challenges that you guys are facing. Even today, the senior friends are no longer willing. Most time I understand the demand that the president is currently going through. Sometimes you call the senior friends and they will not come. You know, but I think we need to engage them from different approach. We need a fundraisers in the NYF. We need a fundraisers, and that's something some of us will avail our time to do whenever you call upon us. How to actually get down to raise funds. There are possibilities of doing that. And when you know the strategies and the rest of that, trust me, you will be good. because without money, the work of the NYF is not possible. You need money. So to get money, you need people with the expertise who will go out to look for the funding, both locally and internationally. I think that is the way to go. And the next thing I'm thinking about has to do with sustainability. You know, right now, the consultant has done very, very well over the years. Today, the structures we have, she's kind of buy booms to our structure. As much as the young people put in a lot of efforts to have the camp to where it is today. I mean, she has been an icon that people can trust with money. Somebody was just telling me that the ESCB just donated $2,000 towards the coming camp. I strongly believe if you never had a consultant, you couldn't get that money right now. But because she's on ground, that's the reason why the money coming. But again, we can't fully depend on the consultant. There have to be a sustainable strategy.
Eben, I want to understand that you are a member of the management team. Eben, please. I want to understand that you're a member of the management team.
Let's see how we can begin raising money now for the.
I think Eben having some few minutes delay, but the guys are here. The guys are here to answer the question. And Eben, except you want to switch your position from being a panelist to helping us to answer question. But I think
no, Eben is one of the advisors. He said
Jared. Jerry and Joe.
Yeah, Reverend.
Can you hear
me? We can hear you.
I am advisors on the committee. So being an advisor, I mean.
Oh, the network. Oh.
No, for me, I want to come in until Abel can come back. Jerome, you are the camp manager.
Jerry, you don't want to be in problem with Revin. Jerry, you don't want to do that.
Revin wanted to ask question?
Revin,
yes, Jerry, what I wanted to tell you is that we need to understand Abel's passion as a former president of the National Lutheran Youth Fellowship, and knowing what a camp is and knowing the importance of a camp. Abel, he's sitting here will be like, we don't expect Abel to be saying anything too much different as compared to Jerome Jala. You know, coming from that office of former National Lutheran President, they will be lean more on the side of the director and the side of the president. You know, you will ask them one question and they will respond to it in the form of appeal instead of answering the question, because they're looking for way now how this camp can be held, which, you know, I agree with. I understand everything.
The camp will be held. The camp will be held.
But my understanding here now is that we should, besides raising money now for looking for ways and means to raise money for KP 2022, we should start working with the current leadership to set up a committee for KP 2023. Nothing is impossible. Look, senior friends will shy away from us if we choke them in the dying minute. But when we have capable people who are senior friends and we give them ample time, they will do a lot more for them. Look, let me tell you something. Abel here was one of my president, and I was one of the strategists on his team, making sure that he becomes president of the NLYF. He understands that there will be nothing said in the dying minute about this organization or the young people here, that some of us will now want to do all we can to make sure it becomes a success. But when you choke us in the dying minute, then it's troubling. And we say to the young people, we cannot continue to do business as usual. What in the dying minute we get, we're going to camp tomorrow. No, we can't do that. The part of the world now we've come are opening our eyes to understand that sometimes you got to plan things almost 2 years in advance. So like Joe said, where we're sitting now, we should start talking about camp 2023. And we can assure all of them, if we start the planning as early as now, it will become, because KP should be even talking about if we raise enough fundings to be sending for people outside to come to the camp,
Right.
in a way that people can be traveling to come to the camp. It's not impossible. You understand? But because we're doing it in the dying minute, it makes it difficult for us to get all we need to get. And we need to open up our eyes to know that nothing is impossible.
Okay,
Jerry,
Remy.
sorry. Yeah,
Remy.
Jerry.
So can I respond to something?
Let me just say something.
Can
I know
I
for the way that
respond to
this
something?
Jared, we got a director and the president. Let's give them a preference. Let the director and the president.
You know, the point I wanted to anchor in. The point I wanted to anchor in is so.
Mr. President, you
important.
have to hold the noise a little bit.
It's so important that when I say it, then the Reverend and the director and everybody else can follow. If they will bear me.
Sure. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Right. You can say
As I was saying,
so director, please hold on a little bit. President, please hold on a little bit. Jerry will make an intervention, then the two of you will come in. Yeah.
Exactly. As I was saying, I know for the way that this show is a family show, and everybody will want to give some suggestion. We are optimistic, but notwithstanding, sometimes we are here to ask the questions so that we can be able to have a kind of direction from the players that are actively involved. So I hear the director saying that this camp will be held. I heard Abel saying that this camp will be held. I heard Jerome, the camp manager, saying that this camp will be held, and the president, and we are happy that it will be held. But can you guys please tell us, can you guys please tell us, now that we short of, I don't know, pretty close to 7,000, what effort are we making to cover the gap? How far are we? Are we closer to getting or generating the 7,000 so we can get the food and other logistics that are needed for the camp? These are the things that the people want to hear. These are the assurances that the parents want to hear as the kids are going there. So it's not just to say the camp will be held. It is to me, it's wishful thinking. To me, it's an opinion throughout. We want concrete step-by-step information that, look, we needed 9,000 as a budget. We got 2,000. This is the strategy and intervention we are put in place. And now we almost arriving at the 9,000. These are what we're looking for.
And Jared, nobody don't believe in miracle.
Okay. So
miracle will take place.
Can I respond to?
Yeah, you can go ahead, Mr. President.
Yeah, Josh gets started. I'll support you.
All right, thank you. Yeah, thank you, senior brothers. Like I said again, I repeat, right now I'm also disappointed and very frustrated. I also want to register that this office called the National Leadership Fellowship, those that go into leadership, is a full-time job. Unfortunately, they don't get a dime. At the same time, they're supposed to sustain themselves and their family. Having a camp management came as a result of having a committee that will run camp on a full-time basis. That is, they will plan camp and they will do everything that surrounds camp. So, but then we have to start from somewhere. And how do we start? Is to first establish this committee that will put into the book the policies that will guide camp. So the issue about the camp management being instituted, that's the background. But this leadership and every other leadership beginning from
Sorry, Mr. President. We are not so worried about the historicity right now. Before becoming president, I showed that you were elected and you understood the nature of the office. It was quietly volunteer. I don't think you went there to anticipate or start paying. Before you became president, your other colleagues were there. You contested heavily for the position and you got it. Now you are the president. You must be able to act presidential and not to be a precedent example. My question remains to you and the director. To you and the director, we are short of 7,000. We are short of 7,000. What strategy you guys are put in place
so
to get the 7,000 to have this camp?
The way in which when the camp will be held, let me say it. The camp will be held after the 7,000 will be raised after the campus arrive and registration starts. That's how we raise the camp money. So when you hear leaders say we go to camp is not for fundraiser, it's actually for fellowshipping and people go there to learn. So the money raised at camp is just used to feed the camp. So the camp will be held and the campus will be filled. The 7,000 will be raised from the registration of the campus.
Okay.
That's how it will be raised.
Right. So the campus coming there, and then you are optimistic that the campus bringing the 7,000. You are sure of that.
And just to buttress that,
you are right. You are right.
Director? Yeah, please.
Just to buttress that, this is what I said. They can't feed the fees itself. So based on the registration, based on the registration.
I know you're coming.
Hello.
I'm kind of.
Director, go ahead. If you were to
Are you guys getting me?
Yes, if the director was in flight, so
the director is having a network issue.
Okay, so what director is having a network issue cannot come in.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so thanks to all of you for all the questions, and they are necessary, and it helps the leadership to do proper planning. Like the president said, the work of the youth is a full-time job, and if you are to achieve, you need to put in all of your time, if not 100%, but 90 to 95%, if you might achieve those things that you plan for. So the work of the youth, when it comes to the camping ministry, things have changed. The number have increased. Before, you used to spend like $1,000, $2,000 on camp. It will feed your entire camp. You have a little over 100. But the number continue to increase. The anxiety for camp continue to increase. So certainly you will need like-minded people who will support you in that direction. So as it relates to the work of the camp management committee, our scope of operation is not to plan camp, but it's to support the leadership in preparing the camp facility and then managing the camp facility. We are not there to manage camp, but let's say to organize camp and what have you. So it would be really good that if you can have a committee or this be added on the work of the camp management committee, that they can do exclusive planning process for the camp, seek resource mobilization for the camp. Because when you look at the work of the fellowship, there are a lot to be done. The national leadership is into construction work. The national leadership is there to conduct leadership training around the country. They are into women empowerment. They are into the agriculture project at Zienzu. So many things going on. And then at the same time, planning for camp is difficult. So when I was in office, what we did was we started planning our camp around August, September. We already started drafting our budget, though we never had the money. So we identify our budget line items where we can get money from. The CM friends in the diaspora really used to help us. Sometimes we're getting 800 from there, sometimes 700. We know that something is coming from somewhere. And then locally, what we're raising, we also know that something will come from there. But you cannot, for me, I still see it as a fear, as a major challenge when it comes to the feeding. considering the previous camp we just had, where we had little over 359 young people using 6 bags of rice for a day. So it would really be good that if you can have those materials on hand, that people come in, you already have your money on hand to purchase your materials and get things ready. But it's worrisome looking at the current situation in the country that you will have campus arriving. Yes, the way people come is like give and take. People pay money, then we go to the market, but you should already have that money on hand that you can raise to buy the necessary material needed for camp, getting the camp t-shirt ready, and getting your food stuff ready. And that can be something that the leadership can think about in solving some of the problems that we have. But be it as it may, but we are sure that camp will be held, and we are still helping the leadership in terms of resource mobilization. Seeing friends, no time is jamming, but getting still everyone will be needed to support this process so that we can have a successful camp. Yeah, but as most of you are placing, it requires early planning and a lot of major resource mobilization to have the camp to be a success. Yeah.
Ambassador,
So Jerome,
I let the champ.
so Jerome,
shortly.
Willie, let
no,
me just
Willie,
make this comment since
you will
I'm
come
leaving.
in.
Jerry, let me just make
Yeah.
this comment since I'm leaving. And guys, sorry, I have to leave at this point. I'm having my first snow today and it's really pouring. So I'm sorry I can't stay on the show to the end. My colleague will continue. But I just wanted to say to the president that you got to consider effective planning, effective and timely planning, like Jerome said. I mean, Royal Jerome says is quite important. I just wanted to leave that with you. I mean, we are all on the same boat, and we are concerned that you don't have the total amount that you need right now, but we are optimistic because according to you, somebody just asked you guys, an organization just asked you guys $2,000, as a starting point, and at the camp, you guys will be able to raise the remaining amount, to bridge the gap, which is around 7,000. Even if you don't get a total 7,000, those who will register, I think what they pay will actually take care of them while at the camp. But this requires early planning and a cycle planning. That's what exactly you need to do. And if you do that, we will be on board to support. Malnutrition Connection is here to support you, to help promote the things that you do, and to encourage people to contribute to the work that you do. But don't forget that you did not just know that your responsibility is a full-time job. I'm sure you knew years before you even came by us and took over the job. So what we're looking at now is to provide the leadership that you have been charged to provide.
The president used to work with Jerome. He used to work with Royal Jerome. So that job now no strange job to him.
Thank you very much. Thanks, folks. I'll catch up with
So
you.
so before Josiah can leave, Josiah, please, we need a contribution for the camp, please. Thank you.
Okay.
That is from the camp management end.
I hear you, Roya.
Yeah.
All right.
Jerry, you want me to say something before I lose my thought on them?
Reverend, go ahead.
So, on a very serious note, Jerry, on a very, very serious note, I continue to say, look, I listened to my own young brother Jerome on this show, and I want to send this caveat. Woody will agree with me, and Joe that just left will also agree with me. No part of the world today is easier. Even the great United States of America, we used to have interest rate of 2.5, is now 5.5 or even 6 in the U.S. Woody will agree with me. Joe, who just left, will agree with me. Things are hard everywhere in the world. But what makes it easier is early planning. Early planning. And I'm saying this, if we get along with this planning currently for the NLYF convention, camp in December or this December, we need to start planning the next NLYF retreat or summer camp for 2023 as early as January, so that we don't run into this same kind of problem. Because the sooner we do it, so let's assume that even if somebody we were contacting thought to give $1 every month to the NLYF, or let's say $1 every week, we will still be able to raise some money for that person instead of jamming the person, in a dime minute and say, we need your support. It makes it difficult for us to get the full support of that person. There will still be a way that we can reach out to people, that we can get to people to make contributions to ensure that the camp is here. And another thing I want the president to know, I want my own dear director here, or my friend and colleague in ministry to know, is that we cannot be planning and be relying on people. And see, Jerome cleverly just told himself what his job is not to be planning what he's planning, what we're talking about here. His job is to go there and make sure that the camp is held in whatever ways, is held and successfully. But if we are to have a successful camp, we cannot be shifting the burdens to those young people who are making their way to the camp to say when they come that they're the one we're depending on for all of them to pay the sitting fee for us to be able to get money from them to camp. Some of the children will automatically start staying their way, especially listening to this show, to say, well, I don't get my own money, but I really want to go to the camp. And if I don't get it, I will not be able to go there. But when we start early planning, we will have surplus of money where people, we can even say the camp raise enough that they can pay for extra 30 persons, extra 40 persons. We just need those names and to make sure that the people who will come to this camp are ready people who are in need. And I'm serious about it. Nothing is impossible. If nobody on the platform agree with me, Per Nazo here, Reverend Per Nazo, will agree with me that with God, nothing is impossible. And the earlier we start, we can do a lot more. If I don't believe in nobody, if I don't believe in no organization within the LCL, I believe within the power of the young people of the LCL, how much they can do when they want to do it, how much they can do when they plan it. And I surely, and I know we can do a lot more if we start early planning. I don't want Jerome to start asking me for my own contribution now, though.
But you will sponsor some young people, 5% for St. Andrew.
Yeah.
Right.
You know how much part of Maria?
Okay,
Yeah, so
everybody
what
get 5 each.
Yeah. Actually, it's not about, beating on the current administration. It's all about helping you to get, in the right direction. Next year, in April, the Lutheran Church in Liberia will be hosting the International African Lutheran Conference. This conference, preparation for the conference started, I would say, back in 2020. It should have been here in 2021, but due to COVID, it was postponed. And now it's going to be here in 2023. Preparations have already been made since then. One thing, I'm not going to go over because most of the thing I wanted to say, my dear friend and brother, Reverend Zesta Leah Yakbazo already said that. The one thing I will advise is that you can do a simple, either a survey or a simple pre-registration form, and Google make it easy. That's what I told. I reached out to the president and I think the director one time. I said we can do that. We can have a simple database, okay? Because it's entire gamble. You don't know how many people are going to come there. Like Reverend is saying, you don't know how many people are going to come there. Some people want to camp during our time. Some people want to camp. They don't have the full registration. You couldn't tell them, don't here camp, But because of early preparation, that's what we're talking about. Today, you have 1 week to camp. And camp is one of the major part. And the support you talk about from our senior sister Nelly, she led the effort when we got ourselves together, friends of NLYF in the diaspora. We started raising funds to help camp, nothing else, because we know the camp brings together everyone for all parishes and districts, because we couldn't just support Monrovia district. Okay, some other people coming from other district, the southeastern district. No, but for camp, the camp is universal among all of us that are part of the NLYF. So, Mr. President, Mr. Director, we're just asking you, you know. And like Leroy said, that I think we need to bring in those senior brothers who were there before and how they did it and how they got it to work. It's not still lit. I'm not talking about this camp now. We can still bring them in, bring those good ideas, how we can work together. The youth work from day one have
You are
been a
muted.
voluntary one, you know. So the complaint, let us forget about the complaint now and focus on the 1 week from now. How can we have this, you know, this camp help? How
Okay,
can we
Woody, thank you.
Yeah, bro, can I say something shortly?
go ahead?
Yeah, thank you. We wholeheartedly welcome and appreciate the suggestions, the comments from everyone. We we really appreciate. But you know, no leader will really sit, especially a leader who have this program as a canal event activity plan. Because if you check our canal events, almost every month got activities. And this one that is called the summer camp that is in December is something that is highlighted. So you know, we'll not sit and just want to do the planning in December or even November or even October or even September. This is a plan. This is something that we're not trying to defend, right? But I just trying to say no leader will want to sit and allow or wait in the down meeting before start to plan or raise funds for said activity. But like I said, we welcome again and we appreciate your comments and your suggestions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, and
All
we'll,
right,
I mean, everyone will see what we can, you know. So,
okay.
sorry, Ambassador. So I don't lose my thought, Ambassador. Quick question, Mr. President. What are those sustainability plans? Those sustainable plans that you have going forward? I know we talked about the 2,000 contribution from the ELCA and some other contribution coming from some other places. What are some of the sustainability projects that the LYF has that, okay, in the absence of this, we can rely on this to move forward?
You mean
Any
support
specific
camp?
plan we can hit? No, not when it camp. The NLYF
Your youth
operation
work.
as a whole.
So the sustainability plan we have is to invest more into agriculture. We started a raw farm 8 years ago that we have invested into so much. We started reaping something from there sometime last year, but again we got some online factor uh, that stopped us from harvesting this year. But we're now limiting it to only rubber. Our plan is to also invest into other crops. The next thing is that we're trying to, by the grace of God, next year we want to launch a bus project that will help in terms of sustainability. That will serve as an income generating source. Another one that we all mentioned and is heavily being invested into when it comes to our time and our efforts is Campodope that has started already raising some funds through rentals, rental of materials, rental of the campsite. Is gradually bringing in some income to the fellowship. And our plan is that if we reach a certain point with the rebuilding of KP, we can invest into vocational education, and that will serve as a major income for the fellowship. Another thing that is still in the pipeline that's not come out. Very mentioned it, the issue of maybe say every young person or every nutrient will just contribute 50 cents, for example, or $1 to the fellowship work or to camp. That's something we put into place already without a form set. It's already set. It's just to sell out the information and start it and get started. or those things are put in place, but it takes time. It takes time.
All right, thank you so much,
Yeah.
Mr.
So those are
President.
our sustainability plans. Yeah.
And I can say to you that those plans are very well in place, especially looking at our current dynamic, economic and social dynamic in the country and around the world. Those plans are very much in place. So before we get go of or let go of you people, I would just want to go to the camp manager, maybe the director, but maybe the director first. Are you guys thinking on, Mr. Director? Are you thinking on um, some conversation with your colleagues at the various parages? Since all of them got young people and people also attend this camp, are you thinking on trying to lobby or through the central office so that at least I know it's very strenuous on the parages, but to elevate it to that level, to have some, I mean, to have the parages in the rural district making some small contribution to the budget of the, the director, or something towards the camp. So maybe we could say that they could pay some quota towards that. Is that something that you guys thinking of? Is it relevant, in fact, as a thought process? Maybe the manager or the director could take that one. The camp manager or the director could take that one. I see the director going off, so Jerome, you could take that one. Is this something that you people considering? Is it even relevant? You are muted.
You are muted.
Yeah. Oh, damn. Hello? Hello? Are you getting me?
Yeah, go ahead. We're hearing you now.
Okay. So I'm saying that it is indeed relevant because we did it before, but that was when I was in office. We did communication to a few parishes, St. Matthew, the St. Andrews, St. Peter's. I mean St. Matthew when we send that communication, luckily for us. Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Hello?
We're hearing you. It looks like somebody
Yeah.
calling you, disturbing you. We're hearing you. I think Jerome is frozen. So Miss
So
Mr.
maybe I can add on to
Yeah,
what Jerome.
Mr. President, you can go
Yeah.
ahead. Yeah, then.
Yeah. So like he was saying, and we've done similar things. We've sent out communications to individuals to pick up parishes of the LCL. So it is our expectation that we also get something from those parishes and individuals. So it's something that we do every camp. We read parishes, especially parishes we know that when you read them, they will be able to compensate or facilitate the success of the camp.
All right, that's fine. So
So
when you
we've
can
done
move
that.
your one question, and then we can go
Yeah,
to other issues.
yeah. I actually had a question for the camp management. But anyway, maybe the president can address that question. So the camp management team, um, what is their role? Is it just to like someone is going to lease the camp photo plan? They're going to issue receipt or want to make sure that the buildings are well painted and everything, or they have external roles like they're going to they are charged with the responsibility of soliciting outside support for maintenance of the camp. That's what I want to know when it comes to the function of the camp management team, because it's almost
So
like it sounds to me like board of directors. I'm not pretty sure if that's what their role is.
yeah, so thank you, senior brother. The idea is, or their function is to manage camp, and that means they will make sure that if there's, for example, a building is having a problem and that building needs some work, the committee that has some engineers or technical people on it will recommend to the leadership and say we realize or recognize this spot on this building or on the campsite, and we need to put into place A, B, C, D. If not, this will happen. Another thing is that they also serve as a committee that will draft a policy that will guide the usage of camp, the usage of the properties at camp.
Brother Jara, you were here and you
Yeah, yeah,
the question actually was for the camp management committee. I don't know if you heard me
yeah.
while you were out. So what is actually
No,
the role of the camp management committee? I know you're there to draft policies. I know you're there to make sure that if a roof is leaking, you will make recommendation. How about the sustainability of the facility?
okay. So the sustainability part of our work is to sell the camp to not just Lutherans but also non-Lutherans, youth and other organizations that is serve as a means of resource mobilization, local resource mobilization. That is part of our work. Currently, as we speak, I'm in touch with two groups. One is a university youth group, Christian youth group. They will be going to camp for 160 person will be going there and from around May. And then we also have the Monrovia District Youth that will be going there for Easter camp. So we have part of the draft policies that we have it in category for Lutherans and non-Lutherans in terms of the usage because the camp needs to be maintained. You don't want to do renovation and then you're writing partners to do that. You don't want to develop a camp and then you go into rep partners to support you in that direction. So and then what we raise will also be used to improve the camp facility. So that is also part of our work. So we're going to definitely create a platform that going to showcase the camp that will sell the camp facility. We are in the process of creating a brochure for the camp that we can give out to other institutions and parishes of the LCL. So as we have started, Simavi Youth being there twice for that annual retreat. The first time they paid 10,000 Liberian dollars, or recent that previous camp they had there was 15,000, and the intent is to have a restricted account purposely for KP that is being managed by the central office. So whosoever want to use it, they can have such funding deposited there and then give a deposit slip to the NLYF that they can obtain or receive, and then we see what is being done with it. So that is part of our work. We already drafted our policy and we're going to be meeting the national office for approval on that. But currently what we are working with is if you are an outsider, for the usage of the camp per night is $2.50 per person. So these are things that we are putting in place from the level of the camp management team and ensuring that the camp is kept to standard.
That's
So,
great. Okay, so before we go to your closing comments, folks, we want to say that you are watching the Lutheran Connections podcast, and with us tonight we have our young people and the director, including the director of the National Lutheran Youth Fellowship, and we are in discussion on the preparation of this year's camp. And they have said a lot of things, but before we come back to them to give us the closing comments, we would like to remind you that we are still trying to make sure that we raise and generate some resources for the renovation of the Lutheran Training Institute (LTI). As you may well know, we had a fundraiser quite recently, and we were able to get some commitments, and some of the pledges have come in, some pay cash, and we were able to ensure that the first tranche of that amount is given to the central office in support of the LTI. And we promise that in line and in respect of accountability and transparency, we will be able to show every meaning of our interaction, transaction, and intervention to the public, so that they are aware of what has transpired, what is transpiring, and what we hope to achieve going forward. So as we speak, we ask our colleague, Brother Willie, to please display the receipt as part of our promise to you last Sunday, that this Sunday we're going to display the receipt of the first tranche, so you all see how far we are and how much we have committed already. And we're encouraging all of our supporters to continue to come in with their pledges and give the pledges, so that we can be able to meet our target of 5,000. So Willie, it's up to you to please display the receipt, so we see. I don't know if you want to say something or you want to chime in on that, or Reverend Yakwazo, and then afterwards we will just go directly to our guests so that they can close. They can give us the closing comment, and we can call it a day.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ambassador. So, we on last week, on the 9th, that was on Friday, we handed over cash 7,700 Liberian dollars to the Lutheran Church in Liberia, and this is the receipt that we received. Eric Niema received the amount, and his phone numbers are here. This is the Liberian dollars portion, and this is the US dollars portion of 1,175 United States dollars. Again, Eric Niema. His phone numbers are displayed right here. So, like my colleague, Ambassador Jerry Tableau, said, that we are still asking those who have made pledges, please make good your pledge, and we are sending the money back to the church. And as we receive the money, we're gonna display the information, and once we turn it over to the church, we are also going to display the receipts. So we want to say thank you very, very much. Our sister couple is not here today. For some reason, she could not be with us, but these are the receipts that we have from the church in Liberia.
Thank you, Willie. We want to say again a big shout out to our sister couple, Celie. She did extremely well. She's on the ground and helping to coordinate our activities there, and we want to say thank you so much for the work done so far. And we also want to extend our greetings to all who have been following and decided to make support, contribution towards this noble process. We are very happy, and we want to say thank you so much. And we are hoping that all of the pledges will come in good time, so that we can be able to send the last tranche of the financial assistance to the central office. And we'll always make sure that when they get it and give us receipt, we'll display them and keep them in our archives. And not only stopping them, but we'll follow up to ensure that the monies being sent, both the Liberian dollar and United States dollars, is utilized for its intended purpose. And I can assure you that it will happen, because the bishop has assured us that the central office will utilize the amount for its intended purpose. So I want to say thank you so much for your support, and we're still looking forward to all those who still got to do the pledges to make true the pledges. So at this stage, we will now want to go on to the president, Mr. President, George Wamoba. Your closing comments, sir.
You are muted, Mr. President.
Thank you. So I want to say thank you again to the management of Maluchin Connections, Brother Winnie, Brother Josiah, and the rest of the team. We highly appreciate that you could invite us to share our thoughts, share our views on the activities of our fellowship, particularly about the upcoming summer camp. So what I want to say is that we're encouraging our campus, we are encouraging our parents to support their kids to attend camp. This year's camp, as other camps has been, will be exciting. We're adding new activities every year to camp, and we want to assure the public that this year camp will be a great camp. We have our counselors. Um, we we got our camp directors. Hopefully, brother BNG Morba and brother Larry, who are our camp directors, that will manage this year's camp. So I want to say thank you again, and thank you. God bless us, Jesus.
Okay. I thought that I saw the director trying to come on, but I think his internet is still fluctuating. So maybe why we anticipate him coming on, whether you can go, and then I will go, and then will be the last to give us the benediction.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I see the director.
No,
I see Jerome.
It's Jerome. Yeah. So I will
no,
go.
Then Jerome can go. Jerome can go already before.
Yeah, Jerome.
Please give us your closing comment, please.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm off and on. Sorry, there was call coming in. So I would like to conclude by saying thank you to all of our hosts on the show, Reverend Yagbaso, Willie, and Jerry. We are grateful for the platform provided us, and we look forward for more of such conversation as it relates to the work of the young people, precisely the camp where some of us are concerned with, and we look forward for a better collaboration in supporting the youth work at this end. Thank you so much for the platform.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Is the director on? Director, your closing comments, sir.
Yeah, I got network issue.
Yeah.
Okay, whether you can go, you can continue.
All right. I just want to close like this. That it's not still lit. I know that we're gonna have camp this year. We've been down this road before. Even though this is not a good habit, but we know sure well that by God's grace, our able president, Brother George Mulva, along with the director, and also all of our former leaders, naming names like Brother Abel Lewally and Brother Larry Mellon, and and the rest of the folks. We know that by God's grace, camp is going to be held this year. And I also want to note very, very, very much that the youth is also doing a great work in terms of climate justice that the youth did not mention. Mr. President, you did not mention that. I know you guys are doing some work. You guys were having some workshops when it comes to climate justice. So The youth is not only just, like you said, they have so many activities doing. Um, Cisco and I are also working on that, and we'll be partnering with the NLYF as time goes by in terms of climate justice. And we want to say thank you very much for being here with us today and having a conversation on the National Lutheran Youth Fellowship. And we are still around to provide whatsoever support that God can bless us with, so that to ensure the work of God is done through the young people, the Lutheran Church in Liberia. I want to say thank you very much, brother Jerome Jala, brother George, and the director and everyone. Thank you so much.
So Willie,
Yep.
Willie,
Yep.
yeah, I also inbox you the flyer for this year camp.
Oh man, you send a thing late. All right. Anyway, we have to share it. We have to share it. Let me see.
Yeah,
Let me
please.
see if I can. Let me see if I can try to get it across to just share on the screen quick while the ambassador is speaking.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. And I want to also join my colleague, Willie Josiah, who was on but left us for some obvious reason, and our sister couple who, for some obvious reason, is not with us. To say thanks to the guests for affording us the opportunity to interview them. And we are all optimistic that this year camp will be a wonderful one. Like Reverend said, and I know Reverend will re-emphasize that with God, all things are possible. We always used to sing a song, we say, and wait, Reverend, if you permit me to sing, I understood, Reverend, you used
Go
to be
ahead. Go
in the
ahead.
choir, St. Matthew. I'll follow St. Matthew veteran, coming together veteran, something on ITV.
Yes.
And Reverend Coco also, our Reverend, said
Reverend
that
Kokoro, yeah.
you guys were in the choir together. He
Yes.
called you himself and somebody else, and I said, "Wow, Reverend
Yes.
Yapaso used to sing the tenor, because I'm not too sure he used to sing bass."
No, Reverend Yapaso sang bass. No. Look, Jerry, hold on 1 second, Jerry, hold on. Reverend Yapaso sang bass when our gown, the choir gown, was during the unveiling ceremony, right? We were about 48 members. And a lot of us were there last night. It was so exciting. I was so emotional yesterday that seeing some people, seeing men as Scott Blackie, we're gonna have a day for that. But I was it was
That's
colorful
great.
yesterday.
Jerry, I used to be the president for that choir.
And he used to be the president for the choir.
He used to be president for that choir when Kokola was the secretary.
Yes.
But really, why you had to go behind the screen to tell me that one?
No, I'm behind no screen. I know what happened to my. Oh no. So let me see. I know what happened to my. Okay, I'm back here. Yeah, I think I just pressed the wrong button. Maybe.
Yeah, but Jerome and the president and let me just give my own contribution in what I know and how I know to do it best is singing. Jerome, the popular song we used to sing, and it goes to you people and wish you a successful camp this year. And the song goes like this: with God, all things are possible. Nothing is impossible. He can work miracles for you. Jerry, I'm sure you know that song, right?
Right now, online choir memo.
My voice is finished completely. Maybe when the fingers working now, my voice finished. But I want to say a shout out to you guys. And I pray and know for the way that the camp will be successful. I see summer camp 2022. I think to register is 3,000 Liberian dollar. The theme is let's make it happen.
Yes.
According to the scripture Acts, chapter 4, 32 to 36, and Camp KP Hendy Town of Fuama, Bon County. And the numbers are there for you to call and make your contribution. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be super heavy. And we want all our young people in the various parishes from the various districts to participate in the tent. $3,000 is worth it. And I can show you when you go there, you're going to have a lot of counselors. You're going to have a lot of trainers who will train you into something new. As the president said, there will be new dynamics that will be involved. And we assure and know that when you leave from there, You are not going to leave from there the way you went. Join us to have a summer camp 2022, and let's make it happen. That's a very good thing. It's very catchy. And I want to say from my end, thank you so much. Reverend?
Reverend, can I just say this quickly before you come on your benediction? Ambassador, if you look at this flyer and look in the back end, though we are 75% shy of the total budget, okay, for this camp. But trust me, you're going to see photos. This camp is going to be popped. As you can see in the background, a lot of people right there, they're going to attend camp. But we're just advising the leadership that, we should take the necessary steps, to do the right thing. But again, I want to say, man, we wish everyone a great time. We wish we were there. Ambassador is right next door, so hopefully he can just drive across the bridge and visit camp. Reverend?
What he say is so easy. You can just drive next door. I wish it was that easy for the ambassador. We encourage him so much to just go by there. But again, on a very serious note, I see that the president might still be here, or Jerome, former president, still here with us, and Director Per Nazo, could be or may not be here now with us. But I want the young people to understand that we all are still willing to help this organization do the utmost best, but we will have to do early planning. We can't keep running here in the dying minute and in late minutes. In dying minute and in late minutes, we will only be able to maybe help one, two persons, help few person or fewer persons. But when we start the early planning, we can be able to do more. We can be able to use our connections. We can be able to reach out to people. We can be able to solicit funds, on behalf of the camp, and do all we ought to do. So let's assume that, on a serious note, 2022 camp is already here. The things we need to do, all of the constraint to make sure that the camp is held, will be done. But I'm calling on the leadership of this noble organization to ensure, through the office of the director and the president, that early planning for camp 2023 starts at January. And they need to get those that want to be on that committee. They need to get them involved. They need to get them informed as early. People who want to keep on board the planning committee can stay. People who want to decline can decline. We can know who we're working with, who are those who have on board. But if we understand that the camp in the end of the year brings a lot of joy to our young people, then we need to take it serious, because the young people are the backbone and the survivor of our beloved church. We need to do all we can to ensure that we engage them fully. So thank you again, Jerry. Thank you, Willie. Ibe is not here. He's gone. I miss all of you guys, and I'm glad to hang in here today. And I hope Josiah will have time enough to clean his snow. And I'm glad he stopped by here, shortly. And thank you, Willie, and for electing a new senator. You guys did extremely well. We appreciate all of your great work, and thank you to this team.
We believe in the scripture says, "Touch not my anointing, Reverend." that means a Reverend. We don't dare play with him. Touch not my anointing.
Thank you, Reverend.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye to you guys.
Oh, bye-bye.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Again, we want to say, folks, thank you very much. Next week, we're gonna try as much as possible to get either the education board or the committee on the investigation. No, the not the. But Ambassador, remind me on this committee again. The verification committee. The verification committee, the education board, we're going to make sure to get one of those two. Either of the two committees, we're going to have one of them on the show next Sunday. What is going on with the verification? Did it just stop right there? We got to know. So until then, we want to say have a blessed week. Merry Christmas. We know we're still one Sunday away from Christmas, so Merry Christmas. Until then, we want to say have a blessed week.